What's next after UFC Fight Night Denver? Very interesting question, fans. Very interesting question. We'll start with Donald Cerrone. Sensational performance against Mike Perry. And you can't argue the fact that he left Jackson Wink now, because it seems to have worked out well for him. That's the best Cowboy we've seen at 170, I believe. Nice and patient, kept on the outside of Perry's big shots. You know, Perry comes in, throws that predictable right hand. Cowboy ducked under it every time, clinched up. The smaller guy was Cowboy in that fight, by far. So he ate some knees. But other than that, rolled with shots, got taken down, worked his jiu-jitsu, flipped Perry on his back and took the armbar after attempting a triangle. It looked perfect. It was a perfect fight. He didn't take one big shot from Perry. Got to give it to him. What's next for Cowboy? The reason why I bring him up first is because we have a lead on what might be next for Cowboy. He wants to fight at 155, and they have offered him a name at 155. And at first I thought, oh, Pettis? No, it can't be Pettis. He just lost. Poirier? No, Poirier might want to wait for a title shot. Nate Diaz? No, Nate Diaz doesn't want to fight anyone. Too busy smoking. That KD. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Justin Gaethje is who it's going to be, obviously. And that is backed up by how excited Cowboy was that he got offered that fight. Because remember, he said, "Oh, it's a great fight. Like this is good. This is a good fight for me." Like, he was so excited about it, and the press were trying to pry some information out of him, but he wasn't giving it in. But he gave enough information for us to know who they were thinking about, and it was Justin Gaethje. Because if you want an exciting fight, which Cowboy does, and you want a stand-up fight only, which Cowboy, I'm sure, will be happy to play by, you want Justin Gaethje. So I think we see Cowboy versus Justin Gaethje, and I'll break that fight down when it comes to it, boys. Who knows who's going to win? Who knows if Cowboy is even going to look good going back down to 55? Because it was a big weight cut for him. He's a big, tall guy. I think Cowboy's an in-betweener who would really love to have that 165-pound division. Second of all, the other side of that co-main event, Mike Perry. What's he going to do next? I think he goes back down, fights a couple no-names, builds himself back up, keeps training, and I think he needs to change his style. He's coming in with such a obvious game plan. You're in the clinch with him, he's throwing knees. What's he going to do when he cuts out of the clinch? He's going to throw an elbow on the break. That's what he does all the time. Alright, I'll avoid the elbow. That's one move of his. Nullified and removed. What else has he got? Oh, he's going to come in, he's going to throw a leaping left hook, and he's going to throw a right hand over the top. That's his other move. Other than that, he's going to walk forward at me. That's it. That's Mike Perry in a nutshell. But if he lands those shots, he'll knock you to fucking Pluto. But if he doesn't, then you just pick him apart, outsmart him, and win the fight. And I think that Mike Perry needs to add a few more things to his game, you know? Add a front kick. Add some good leg kicks. Hone your other abilities. Don't just keep throwing that right hand on the heavy bag all day and praying that it's going to land when you go to fight night. You know? Mix it up. Throw some leg kicks. Start working on your jab. I think he's young in the game. He's young in the game and he's got room to improve now before it's too late to change your game. Because, you know, the more these guys fight, the harder it is for them to change their game, because you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and it's the same with fighters. Moving on to the main event, amazing fight. Both guys are going to need a rest, Gathje and the Korean Zombie. They're definitely going to need at least 2 months just to recuperate their mind, because it was a fucking war between those two. And I think when Gathje comes back, Zabit will be there for him, and I think that's the fight that they're going to make. And I think that fight will be on the main card of a UFC pay-per-view event, just because of the hype around it, you know? Now Gathje's just had that war, his stock's way up high. Now Zabit, more people are starting to hear about him now. Because remember, people at the start were underestimating him, like, oh, it's just this new guy, he'll get stopped by these guys eventually, and then he keeps winning. I am responsible for that. I said myself, Yair won't be able to compete at the top 15 yet. He's just looking good against the bums, and then he keeps winning. Now's going to be his biggest test in Yair, especially a Yair on a full camp, because if Yair on 2 weeks' notice can go 5 rounds, imagine what he can do on a full camp. Very interesting. And I give the edge to that fight between Zabit and Yair to Zabit, because he's got the wrestling background and he can decide where he wants to fight. If he's not liking the stand up with Yair, he can take it to the ground. But if Yair doesn't like the stand up with Zabit, too bad, you got to keep standing up with him. You're not going to take him down. He's got the wrestling background. You don't. You try jumping to guard. That could work. But yeah, wrestling's such a big part of the game now. I think Zabit is definitely going to be the favourite in that matchup, even though Yair is sensational. And you got to watch out for more things. That fight will open up a main event at some point. And if it doesn't happen next, it will happen down the line somewhere. And as for the Korean Zombie, I don't know what you do with him. He's going to move down the rankings. He'll still be in the top 15. I think you give him Brandon Davis, the guy that fought Zabit last on short notice. You thank Brandon Davis for being a foolish, brave man and stepping in on short notice against Zabit. And you give him a little reward. Like, here's another shot at the top 15, you know? And you give that fight to him. It's an exciting fight. Both guys are going to stand up. Brandon Davis can push the pace on the feet. Let's make it happen. Also, guys, if you want me to talk about anything in particular, let me know, because it's difficult thinking of shit in my room. So yeah, thanks for all the support on the channel as well. Views are going way up. Still not earning a dime on the YouTube though, but the views are up, and I like that. So just let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'll put them up. I love this shit. Like and subscribe.